Hi everyone, it's Rax. Very happy to be making this video. We finally got some Path of Exile 2 news. I know I haven't made some videos in a while, but they're going to be ramping up very strongly with a bunch of awesome stuff coming out. So we learned a bunch of things about Path of Exile 2's next league, which starts on December 12th. I'm going to give you all the info that we have right now. Also, I've got a ton of predictions for, or just maybe just a conversation about a lot of things that could be coming either in this league or in future leagues that just going to try to build some hype for this game, guys, because I'm very excited. We're going to jump into all this right after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Guys, today's video is brought to you by Displate. Everybody's doing their Cyber Monday and Black Friday shopping right now for Christmas. And what could be a better gift than a beautiful, metallic, glossy poster from Displate? They've got the best posters out there by far. They have some killer deals going on. And they have the official Path of Exile license and thousands of other posters from different hobbies that you would be interested in. Installing it couldn't be easier. You put the sticky on the wall, you put the magnet on the sticky, and then you put the poster up. Another beautiful thing about that, besides no damage on the wall, is if you buy a bunch of posters and you want a change of scenery, you just take the poster off and you put the new one on, and that's all there is to it. They ship pretty much everywhere you could think of: the United States, Canada, Australia, tons of countries in Europe, so almost anybody can buy these. If you're interested, they have a killer deal going on. For one or two Displates, you can get 37% off, but that discount ramps up to 46% off if you buy 5 or more using code RAX at displate.com/@RAX. So if you're looking for a gift to buy for yourself or someone else, I would definitely recommend Displate posters. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. All right, so Path of Exile 2 League. It starts on December 12th, so you've got to reserve your time. Now you know the time, at 11 a.m. Pacific. December 4th is going to be the big reveal. You already know I'll be live streaming it. If you want to watch along, I'll make a video afterward that summarizes everything that's coming. And it's going to be a free weekend on December 12th. So anybody playing on Steam, anybody on Xbox, anybody on PS5, if you want to play Path of Exile 2, you can play for free. The game itself is going to be free when it finally comes out. You can pay money right now for early access if you want, but you get to play for the first weekend for free, so that's going to be amazing. And we're definitely going to get the Druid. The little tiny clip that they showed the Druid. They wanted to have the Druid in last time, so we're going to get the Druid for sure. So the million-dollar question, besides that information, is what else might we get? Well, let's start with endgame. So Grinding Your Games has said, they said this multiple times, including last league, that this would be the endgame league. It is widely accepted that the endgame is the weakest part of the Path of Exile 2 experience. They have a beautiful campaign, which also isn't even done. But the endgame and things like crafting are definitely what need work. So what might be coming? They might add more pinnacle bosses. They did mention, I believe it was Mark who mentioned that he wasn't really very happy with how the progression to the Arbiter actually went. So maybe either the structure of how you get there or just having more pinnacle bosses along the way could definitely be a thing here, especially when endgame is the focus. They could change certain mechanics on how they work. For example, I played hardcore SSF almost the entire league last time, and Ritual and Abyss were just carrying me. They were giving me very, very good stuff relative to the other mechanics. We could see some balancing there, mostly bringing up the other mechanics, which is simultaneously what they're also doing right now in POE1. They said that the next league would also have that for that game. But we could get new mechanics. There's a lot of mechanics in POE1 that they could port over to POE2. And usually when they've done that, like with Abyss, for example, last league, they've taken the liberty to do their next iteration of the mechanic And the next iteration of Abyss that they put in POE2 was way better than the Abyss in POE1. Abyss in POE1's fine. You step on the green circle, it spawns monsters, you get stuff, it's whatever. But the POE2 one was just far, far greater with the crafting system and all the currency that it produced, and then going down into the little layers and trying to look for the very rare stuff and the bosses. So whatever their next take is on their existing mechanics, I'm personally very excited for to see if we get any of that. We could see their endgame tree be expanded. That could be very, very good. And, there's some problems with the tree. Like I needed to get the certain things from the Wisp last league. I spec'd fully into the Wisp and didn't get it to drop a single time. And I leveled multiple characters to 90 plus. It's usually considered like not working. So a ton of those reworks or just expanding the tree or rerouting it could make the endgame a lot more fun and give you a lot more options. One of the biggest topics in Path of Exile 2 endgame has been how you juice it. So people didn't really like stacking the towers, and now they have like the cleansing system or the corrupted system, and they made some changes to that last time. I'm not really sure if that's their final form or that's kind of like their intermediary solution for some bigger plan that they have. Remember, also in POE1, they're also cooking an entire new endgame over there. I'm not really sure if there's overlap here or not, but there might be some foreshadowing here for POE1 as well to see what they might be doing in terms of juicing. Because at the end of the day, when you get really involved in Path of Exile 2 or POE1, that's what it turns into, right? Once you clear the campaign and you get decently into the end game, it's how do you really pump up the maps to drop you the best items in the game and go for that loot hunt. One thing that I'm absolutely certain is going to happen, and maybe in a dramatic way, is quality of life. We know this is happening for sure because if you'd stuck around long enough last league, they released a new endgame patch and they said that they wanted to make a ton of changes and get a lot of feedback on it. I made a pretty long video on that. I played tons of hours. I made a sheet and I sent it to Grinding Gear Games about, okay, I thought their patch was much better than what we had before, but they literally asked for feedback walking into this league. So it's certainly going to have some changes there, which is going to make things feel very good. So that's one major, super major topic that's going to be in this next season. By the way, we also need to say that there's always a season mechanic attached to the season. They consider these seasons. So last time it was Abyss. That was a huge win. We will also get some kind of season mechanic. What is it going to be? Not exactly sure. We know that they will do many, many changes probably to the skill tree. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I think Druid is pathing top left. So you could probably see like a complete rework of that with this class coming in. I'll be completely honest with you. Some of the stuff that they reworked on the tree kind of bricked some of the ways that I made some of my old characters. But I'm not even complaining. Like maybe it's part of a grand plan. Grinding Gear Games has proven over the years that they know what they're doing. And they said that the tree would go through many, many iterations. So we just let it go. But the skill tree is probably going to have some significant changes, specifically, I would guess, going top left. Last time, they added Act 4. In my opinion, for ARPGs, that was like pinnacle content. We actually got back-to-back pinnacle PvE, like campaign content when Last Epoch released Chapter 10, I believe, and then POE2 released Act 4. I mean, Chapter 10 for Last Epoch was beautiful, and the amount of content in Act 4 from POE2 and Grinding Gear Games was insane. So we already know we're getting Act 5 and Act 6 at some point. Will they also put Act 5 here? Maybe. If I had to guess, I'd say no, because this is the endgame patch. Act 5 doesn't have anything to do with endgame. But at the same time, remember something. Grinding Gear Games wanted to have POE2 launched at the end of 2025, fully out, 1.0. Is that going to happen? No, because this is the last league, obviously, before the end of the year. So we'll get it next year. That's fine. I don't want it early. I'd rather them actually finish the game. It's all good. But they originally planned to be completely done by now. We're missing lots of classes. We're missing lots of like weapon types, like swords, which could be another thing that they add in here. And they could add other classes in here as well besides Druid, because Druid was supposed to launch last season, but I believe Jonathan's words were it was stuck in animation hell. Whatever that means, making the animations for the skills, for all the transformations that they're going to do. I'm sure there's going to be shape shifting. That's what Druids do, right? So, I mean, we were supposed to be completely done, and Druid was, I guess, mostly done already, except for it had some other animations. So could there be another class here? Could there be swords? Could there be other weapon types here? Could there be Act 5? Absolutely, it's possible. So we'll have to see about all those different things. And then there's ascendancies. I believe they said every single class is supposed to have 3 ascendancies by launch. I don't even think every class right now has 3 ascendancies. And then one thing that I feel is true, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I don't know if this is like a universal opinion, but if you played both POE1 and POE2, I feel currently that the ascendancies in POE1 are better because they're much more impactful. I'll give you an example. I just made a Hierophant in POE1. You want to know what's the first node I got for doing the first lab? I got 4 endurance charges and 4 of a bunch of other charges. And charges in POE1 are insanely powerful. They naturally give you buffs, where I believe in POE2 you have to spend the charges to do stuff. It's a little bit different. They're stronger in POE1. For 1 click, I got 4 of a bunch of charges. I can't even explain to you how much more powerful that makes you. When you do the first lab, you just feel like a god. The POE2 ascendancies, some of them are quite good. A lot of people went Deadeye last league. That's an example of a pretty good ascendancy. But in POE1, they pack a much harder punch. It makes you feel much better for going through Trial of Suck My Ass, Trial of Old Tomato, to get it done. Which, on that topic, I don't think that's everybody's favorite thing to do right now. And it's been asked in multiple interviews that they've had, are there any plans to make it more fun? I mean, one thing that would make it more fun for me, not to repeat myself, but if the reward was better. So if when I beat it, if I got an ascendancy point that was as powerful as a lot of ascendancies in POE1, that would make it feel better. That's a start. But any other ways that they can think of to make it a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more fun, man, I'll take it. So if we get any ascendancy changes, that would be great. Remember, there's a third way to ascend that we don't have in the game. And if I remember correctly, I've been watching all their interviews. I believe that they said that the third ascendancy is going to be something completely new. So it's not going to be like Lab from POE1 as the third option. I believe that they said it's a completely new mechanic that is not like the other 2 mechanics. So maybe that's going to be the super fun one. Maybe we'll get that here. It's certainly possible. And then the final thing, we got a big update to this last time, but we still have to stay on top of it because Grinding Gear Games is very good with this, is crafting. The crafting got way better last league with the Abyss League, but it's kind of really mostly just limited to that, right? So will this new endgame bring additions to crafting? Will they bring expansions to it? Is there going to be stuff outside of the Abyss mechanic? It's something that people are going to be asking for. Yes, we loved Abyss. They did a great job there, but it's still nowhere near the level of POE1. Now, there's 2 ways to view that, right? In some ways, people complain about POE1 is super bloated. There's too many things to do. It makes your brain explode, makes you not want to play. It's fair feedback. People who played a lot, who know how to craft fossils and harvest and this and that and Eldritch currency and everything, they love it. So where's the balance here? How do we ramp up the crafting without having it so bloated? Still going to be a focal topic for people for a long time until we get more besides the Abyss League. Anyway, I I could probably sit here and theory craft, a million other things for hours, honestly. I really like POE2. I've liked it from the beginning. The game has improved a lot in the last year with the development that they put into it. I think Path of Exile 2, if you took every ARPG and you listed it on a graph and you measured the slope of how fast it's improving, I think Path of Exile 2 is improving at the greatest rate, which means in a year or two, it's completely possible Path of Exile 2, in my opinion, is going to be the best ARPG out there. I think PoE is still better currently. PoE 1, I mean. Last Epoch is absolutely there with it. We'll see how things go with the craft and purchase, and if they can continue to ramp. But things are looking very bright for this game, in my opinion. I think the stuff that Jonathan and Mark and the Grinding Gear Games team are doing is mostly pushing it in the right direction. And I'd be very curious, what are the main things that you're hoping for? We know the stuff that we're getting for sure, like the Druid, and we're getting endgame stuff. But I feel like the audience in PoE2 is maybe the most diverse. We have a good mixture of like new players and veterans. What are you guys hoping for the most? For me, it's always going to be endgame. The endgame and the crafting thing would probably mean the most to me. But I feel like it would be a wide range of answers for this particular game. Anyway, I guess that's enough rambling. I am very excited for this. I'm so glad this is releasing in December. I'm going to blast the living shit out of this. We'll make a Druid. We'll try all the builds. We'll try shape-shifting. I don't know. It's going to have nature magic or elemental magic, whatever. We'll make all the builds. I will have guides for you. I'll make them immediately. I'm having on day 1 or 2. I'll figure it out very quickly. And I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope you guys like this game, because I think in a year or two it's going to be one of the best on the market. It maybe already is. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I hope you guys are having great holidays, and I'll see you for a lot of videos coming up, probably mostly on PoE2 and whatever Last Epoch is doing in January, and No Rest for the Wicked, the Souls-like ARPG. That's getting a huge expansion, multiplayer, and I think it's releasing next year. That's coming as well. Diablo 4 has Season 11. It's getting better, so we'll try it. Cool stuff is coming, guys. Happy holidays to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.